Jane.
Yes, Peter?
Now?
Now what, Peter?
Will you marry me now, tonight?
Oh, Peter, I'm so sorry. I can't tonight. Tonight I have to solve the case of Wilmur and the widow.
Oh.
Well, it's about time to meet Miss Sherlock. As smart a little gal as ever stumbled across a real live clue.
No. Please, don't, no!
Hello, that you, Peter?
Yes?
This is Jane, Peter.
Well, hello, darling.
Peter, darling, let's have lunch together today.
Well, certainly, Jane. Where?
I'd like to go to Pierre's. There's so many Frenchmen there.
Frenchmen, Jane. I didn't know you preferred Frenchmen.
Oh, no, Peter, I don't, but Beth Ellis does.
Beth Ellis? Is that little screwball coming, too?
Well, certainly, Peter. She's my friend, and besides, she speaks very good French, she says.
Okay, Jane. Pierre's at noon.
Pierre's at noon, and Peter,
Yes, Jane.
will you wear a beret?
Me? Wear a beret? What on earth for, Jane?
Well, Peter, Beth's never been to a French restaurant, and I'd like to show her a real good time, sort of a French atmosphere all the way. You know what I mean, Peter.
But, Jane,
Oh, you are sweet, Peter, very sweet. See you at noon.
Does Monsieur wear the beret often?
No, Monsieur does not wear the beret often. Monsieur would like a table where no one can see him.
I understand, Monsieur, if you will follow me. Mademoiselle Sherlock is going to join you?
Yes.
Here, I think you will find it comfortable. Perhaps an aperitif before lunch?
A tall, cold, impetuous drink of something, Pierre. Double bourbon and soda. It should be cold and impetuous enough.
Right away. Your drink and telephone, Monsieur.
Telephone? I didn't order any telephone.
A young lady is calling. You're Mademoiselle Sherlock, eh?
Hey, yourself. And bring me another double.
Oui, monsieur. Un moment.
Hello?
Peter, this is Jane. I'm terribly sorry, darling, but you'll just have to wait a little while for me.
Well, what's keeping you?
I'm tied up for the moment, Peter. You see, I'm shopping for blossoms on Broadway, only I'm not really.
That makes sense. Go on.
Well, you see, I'm really shopping for Wilmur. He came in yesterday. He wants to buy an engagement ring.
Wilmur?
Yes, Wilmur.
Of course.
It's really for the widow, Wilmur's widow.
Oh, Wilmer's widow.
Uh-huh. You see, I'm doing it for you, Peter.
For me? Oh, why, Jane?
Why, you're a client, silly, don't you see? Wilmur's widow.
No, I don't see. And who the heck is Wilmer?
Wilmur's your client, and that's why I'm late.
Look, Jane, I don't know any Wilmers. And if I did, I'd kill him for having a name like that.
How could you know him, Peter? Wilmur's widow is really going to be your client. And you just wait at Pierre's. I'll be there right away, and then you can meet Wilmur, and I'll explain then. Peter. Oh, Peter.
I think I'm still here.
Did you wear it?
Hmm?
Did you wear the beret?
Yes.
Oh, you're so sweet, Peter. I'll be there soon. Goodbye.
Oh, nuts.
Monsieur, I believe this is my table.
Oh. Oh. Huh?
I believe this is my table.
Oh, well, no, I don't think so. Pierre reserved it for me and my friends.
Your friend?
Yes, I'm going to meet my fiancée and her friend here soon. I was just talking to her on the phone.
And your fiancé will be late.
Yes, how did you know?
It is always the way with lovers. I too am waiting for a friend.
Oh, won't you sit down? We can wait together.
Oh, thank you, monsieur. You forgive me, but do you wear the beret always?
Oh, that. No, not always. You see, Jane asked me to wear it today to make this girlfriend of hers feel at home.
Oh?
Kind of give her a little atmosphere.
Monsieur, monsieur, you haven't yet told me your name.
Well, my name's Peter Blossom. I'm an attorney. What's yours?
I am Yvonne.
Yvonne.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a pretty name. Very pretty name.
Thank you. Life in your country is very disconcerting at times. I am not yet used to it.
Oh, you'll get used to it, I'm certain.
Oh, but you, monsieur, do not seem accustomed to it. You were rather upset when I intruded.
Oh, I was talking to Jane on the telephone. She gets a little confusing at times. She's with someone named Wilmur now. She says he's my client. I don't know what to think.
Wilmur?
Yes, I don't know. Oh, there she is now. Jane! Stay right here. I think you'll like Jane. I'll go meet her.
Peter.
Right here, Jane.
Wait a minute, Peter. Wilmer's out in front paying the tab.
Come on, Jane. Wilmur can find the table himself.
Peter, I hate filling
Come on, Jane. There's someone over at my table I'd like to have you meet. Might help you to be on time the next time we have a date for luncheon.
Peter, you did.
Did what?
The beret. I think you look so cute, but Alice isn't coming. She doesn't know what she's missing.
We won't talk about that. Oh, here we are. Jane, I'd like to have you meet Yvonne.
You mean the potted palm? Or is it you that's potted? I don't see anyone but a potted palm. Peter, have you been...
It's funny. She was here a minute ago. She was sitting right
here. Here comes Wilmur.
Wilmur.
Oh, Peter, don't be cross. I brought you a nice new client. Wilmur's widow is wanted for murder.
Wilmur doesn't look quite dead enough to... Murder? Who? How?
Well, it's Wilmur's friend, really. She's wanted for murdering her husband. That's Wilmur's widow.
Now, Jane, listen to me. I'm a civil lawyer, not a criminal, and I...
Well, Peter, I never said you were a criminal, but you certainly must be civil to Wilmur.
Oh, Jane.
You, Wilmur, over here. Wilmur, right here. Well, it's this way, Peter. I met Wilmur this morning right after I telephoned you.
Perhaps I'd better explain, Miss Sherlock. I don't think Mr. Blossom quite understands what our connection is.
Please do, Wilmur.
Well, you see, Mr. Blossom, I was... pardon me, but do you wear it all the time?
No!
Peter, Wilmur's only trying to tell you about his widow.
Go on, Wilmur.
Yes. The widow of T.P. Randolph is a special friend of mine, and I'm afraid she's wanted for murder.
Murdered?
Yes.
Who's murdered?
Mr. Randolph's murder. You see, Peter, they found Mr. Randolph in a car this morning, parked in front of a bar called the Manhole. Someone had shot him, and now they can't find Mrs. Randolph anywhere.
Well, now, isn't that nice?
Oh, no, it's not nice at all. They've been looking everywhere for Mrs. Randolph, and I'm frightened.
Where is she?
Well, I don't really know. You see, the police found her fingerprints all over the steering wheel of the car.
Whose?
Wilmer's widow, Mrs. Randolph. You see, Peter, Mr. Randolph was a very rich man, and Mrs. Randolph would get all his money if he were dead.
Oh, yes, but she really couldn't have anything to do with it. Not for money.
Money, Wilmur, is a very good motive for murder.
Then you think Wilmer's widow is guilty?
Mm-hmm. Very guilty.
But oh, dear, she couldn't be. She's not that kind of a girl. Not Yvonne.
Who?
Why, Yvonne. Yvonne Randolph.
Will you take the case, Peter?
Yvonne. Just a minute, Jane. Wilmur, what does Yvonne look like?
Oh, she's beautiful. I remember the first time I saw her in a flame-red dress that seemed to set the sparkles in her hair.
French accent?
Why, yes. How did you know?
Never mind. Wilmur, I'll take the case.
That's wonderful of you, Peter.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Blossom.
And when can I meet your widow, Mrs. Randolph?
Oh, I know she'll get in touch with me pretty soon. I handled all of Mr. Randolph's money. Yvonne loves money.
I'm sure she does.
Peter, do you think you can help Wilmer's widow?
Maybe. But, Wilmur, I'll have to surrender her to the district attorney's office as a matter of form, after I've talked to her.
Oh, I understand perfectly. I'll let you know as soon as she shows up.
You can trust Peter, Wilmur.
Oh, I hope so.
Did you say Mr. Randolph was killed in front of the manhole?
It's a bar or something over on the Bowery, Peter.
I must get back to my office now. You'll excuse me.
Of course, Wilmur.
Yes. By the way, Miss Sherlock, when you find that ring we were looking for, will you have this engraved on the inside? Here.
Oh, yes, Wilmur. I'll take care of it. Goodbye.
So long.
Goodbye.
Funny little guy. Yeah, I wonder.
Peter, come on. We've got to get busy.
Well, I can't do anything until Wilmur finds Mrs. Randolph, Jane.
Oh, yes, we can. We can find a murderer. Manhole. Isn't that a nice name, Peter?
Oh, sometimes, Jane, I wonder why I let you get...
It's awfully dark for the afternoon in here, Peter.
Yes, isn't it? Might as well go to the bar. Bartenders usually know everything.
A charming afternoon, folks. What'll it be?
Oh, 2 bourbons, Peter?
Oh, that'll be fine.
A very exemplary choice. I'll fetch him forthwith.
Forthwith?
Forthwith. An
Oh.
adverb I love.
Peter, we'll have to ask him what happened this morning.
I took the liberty of bringing you an afterthought of ginger ale.
Oh, that's very sweet of you.
See anything else?
Oh, no.
Pardon me, sir. Is the beret a standard part of your costume?
Oh.
The beret.
Oh, the beret. No, I wore it for a friend.
I see. Greater love hath no man.
Now, see here, you...
Peter, Peter's sensitive about the beret.
Understandable.
We are wondering if you were here this morning when they found the body of Mr. Randolph in front.
I not only was here, I found it. I know nothing of the affair, and it's not my fault someone was crass enough to park a corpse in front of my shop. And furthermore, my business is not talking, but selling booze. Another brother?
Oh. Ever hear of a girl named Yvonne?
I repeat, I know nothing. Perhaps I better tend to my wake in the back. Call me if you need.
We didn't get very much information from him, did we, Peter?
Not much.
He just refused to talk. I'll bet he knows something.
I know something.
Oh, who are you?
That is unimportant. You know Yvonne?
Yvonne? I don't know her. Do you know Yvonne?
What is
What
this?
I do know is this. You want to keep your health, you forget about Yvonne.
Why, Captain Dingle.
Jane Sherlock, what are you doing
Well,
here?
Peter and I just dropped in for a drink, didn't we, Peter?
Yes, that's all.
Hello, Miss Sherlock, Mr. Blossom. What's new? You solving any murders today?
They haven't got any to solve. They're all solved.
What do you mean, Captain Dingle?
Just what I said.
You mean you've already solved the Randolph killing? The one that happened this morning?
All taken care of, Kitty. It's not a thing for you to do.
But that can't be, Dingy.
Jane, please don't call me Dingy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who murdered Randolph?
Yvonne Randolph, his wife. She killed him, drove him here, parked the car, and left him.
But are you sure?
Very certain. Her fingerprints were all over the steering wheel. You know, Jane, I had a feeling you and Peter be snooping around here. For once, you're too late to butt in. It's all sewed up.
Yep, all sewed up. Not a stitch showing.
Even Tollison knows.
Right, Chief.
Well, where are you holding Mrs. Randolph?
Oh, we haven't had time to find her yet.
Oh, I see.
Well, Captain Dingle, Peter and I were just dropping by. You see, we wanted to get a little information.
Information? What kind of information?
Peter's taken a new case. He's Mrs. Randolph's lawyer.
He's what?
I'm her lawyer.
Oh, you are you?
Chief, what's going to happen now?
Well, you picked a swell case to switch to criminal law on. You'll never get her off. We got her dead to rights.
The manhole's a very interesting place.
Any place is interesting that has a dead body parked in front of it in the morning.
You know, the most frightening man spoke to Peter and me while we were in there.
Oh, if you mean the bartender, Miss Sherlock, he is a little screwy, isn't he?
Strange is a better
I
word.
don't mean the bartender. There was another man. He was wearing a beret, just like Peter's.
Oh, yes. I meant to ask you about that, Peter. Is it comfortable?
Dingle, I dislike
It
things,
wasn't
but...
as cute as Peter's. This man was tall and kind of skinny with a scar on his face.
Hey, Chief, that's...
Shut up, Tollison. Did you say he had a scar on his face?
Yes, the poor fellow must have run into a plate glass window or something in his time.
That was Andre Petitjean.
Who's Andre Petitjean?
Oh, just one of our prize suspects, that's all. Which way did he go?
I don't know. He was in the bar a minute ago.
Get in there, Tollison.
Right, Chief.
What's he got to do with this?
Nothing, only he was a great friend of Mrs. Randolph's and tried to swindle her husband with some phony invention. We think he was in on it.
Well, what makes you think that?
Mrs. Randolph was seen with him 3 or 4 times in the Markham Grill. We found that out. They used to meet there. She only married Randolph for his money.
The Markham Grill?
Yeah. You two might have let our prize suspect get away. We'll find Mrs. Randolph sooner or later, but Andre's clever enough to slip out of town. Why didn't
But,
you...
Chingy, we didn't know he was important.
He was important, and don't call me Dinky.
Nowhere in sight, Chief. Barkeep doesn't speak very good English. Chief, what's a forthwith?
Well, he's got away. Come on, Tollison, let's get back in there. I'll make this bartender talk if it's the last thing I do.
Come on, Peter, we'll go through it.
No, Jane. Let Dingle take care of that.
But, Peter, they're going to try to find out about Andre Petitjean.
So are we, Jane.
Well, then come on, Peter. Let's go in the manhole.
No. We're going over to Markham's. I've got to protect my client.
about this case the wrong way. Why did we go to all the trouble of questioning the head waiter at the Markham Grill?
We kept our health, didn't we?
Well, yes.
And
but
we don't know where Andre would be.
Wilmer's back.
Well, we'll soon know.
I wonder if he found Mrs. Randolph yet.
Mrs. Randolph is the kind of woman you don't just find, Jane.
Huh? What do you mean, Peter?
Blondes like Mrs. Randolph are a rare vintage.
Oh. Wilmur Waldo, public accountant and business affairs. Wonder what that means, Peter.
A high-priced business agent. People like Randolph often use them to handle their money.
Oh?
And this is probably what he did for him. And, Jane, if you need someone to help you handle your money, you have to have a lot of it.
I suppose so, but...
Wilmer's the type.
Yes, isn't he? Type for what, Peter?
Oh.
Do you think maybe Wilmer's hiding Yvonne under his desk?
Wilmer's probably hiding plenty.
Doesn't look like anyone's here, Peter. I wonder what could have happened to Wilmer. He was such a nice little man. He wouldn't...
Oh, it's you two.
Yes, Peter and I want to see you, Wilmer.
Hi, Wilmer. What took you so long?
I came as fast as I could. I was in the file.
Right in the drawer?
Jane.
Come in.
You have a nice office, Wilmer. A little bit unlike you.
Oh, do you think so?
Oh, red plush leather chairs and chromium lace.
I like nice things.
Of course you do, Wilmer. Where's Yvonne?
I don't know, Mr. Blossom. I haven't seen her yet.
Wilmer, Peter and I haven't got
Let me
quite...
handle this.
Now, Peter, you...
Look, Wilmer, I don't think you've been telling me all you know.
Oh, Peter, that isn't nice. You shouldn't talk to Wilmer that way.
And why?
Well, can't you see you've upset him? And besides, you're bigger than he is, Peter.
But I have told you all I know. Yvonne Randolph is wanted for her husband's murder.
Look, Wilmer, do you know Andre Petitjean?
Andre Petitjean. No, I don't think so.
He's a Frenchman from France.
Oh.
Yes. He talked to Peter and me today. He seemed to know Mrs. Randolph very well.
He did. He did?
Very well. In fact, so well that when Jane and I went to the manhole to try and get a little information from the bartender, he walked over and told us to forget all about Yvonne.
Oh, dear, that's terrible. It's terrible. I wonder what connection he has with all this.
We're wondering the same thing, Wilmer. Are you sure you don't know Andre Petitjean?
No, I don't think I do.
You said that once before.
Peter.
This has all been very trying.
It's going to be more trying any minute now.
What do you mean?
Wilmer, Peter and I went over to the Markham Grill before we came here.
The Markham, on West 45th Street?
The same.
Oh, I've been there. They serve awfully nice steak.
Yes, Wilmer.
You were eating dinner rather early, weren't you?
We weren't eating dinner.
Well, my goodness.
We were talking to the head waiter, as a matter of fact.
Alonzo, yes. Oh, he's an awfully nice fellow. I know his mother, too. She's very nice.
Everybody's just fine.
Do you know what Alonzo told us, Wilmer?
No. What?
That he saw you and Andre Petitjean having dinner together there the night before Mr. Randolph was murdered.
Well, so I did.
So you did. Didn't you just tell us you never heard of Andre Petitjean?
Well, I hadn't really. Oh, dear, you're confusing me again.
Peter, be quiet.
Oh, nuts. Petitjean is wanted by the police. Wilmer isn't wanted. Mrs. Randolph is wanted. Wilmer remembers. He doesn't remember. No one knows anything. Who am I?
Well, you're Peter Blossom, and I'm going to marry you.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Oh.
Wilmer, how did you get to know Andre?
I met him at Mr. Randolph's laboratory on 39th Street. He was a very nice chap.
I knew he would be.
Yes. He was a friend of Mr. Randolph's, come to think of it.
He was a friend of Mr. Randolph?
Uh-huh. He had an invention he was trying to interest Mr. Randolph in. It was something for reclaiming wool.
Did Randolph buy it?
Oh, dear, no. I advised against it.
I see.
Did Randolph usually go by what you said, Wilmer?
Always.
Your memory isn't any good, Wilmer, but I want to know how Andre knew Mr. Randolph.
Well, Andre knew Mrs. Randolph in Europe before she met Mr. Randolph in Paris, I believe.
And Mr. Randolph married her, and they came to the United States, and then Andre showed up with his invention.
And I told Mr. Randolph not to buy it.
Oh.
I haven't seen Andre since. He was pretty angry.
Naturally.
Well, you see, he and Mrs. Randolph were good friends once, and then Andre came here and looked them up.
And tried to sell Mr. Randolph an invention.
Yes. Mr. Randolph didn't like him. He thought that...
What do you think, Wilmer?
That maybe Mrs. Randolph and Andre were beginning to like each other again. Mrs. Randolph was like that.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder the police are looking for Andre. They think he and Mrs. Randolph...
Oh, they'll never find him. Miss Sherlock, did you find the ring yet? I want it to be just right.
The ring? Oh, the ring you hired me to buy for you yesterday.
Yes. And don't forget the inscription.
No, I won't. You gave it to me earlier.
Getting married, Wilmur?
Yes, as soon as I can.
Who to? What is it, Jane?
Oh, I feel faint, Peter. I feel...
Oh, dear.
Get out of the way, Wilmur. I'll take her out in the air. All right, Jane. You weren't a very good actress.
Why, Peter, we found out everything we wanted to know. There wasn't any more.
Oh, Jane. I was just beginning to get some information.
We found out the important thing.
We did? Did we? What?
Where Yvonne is hiding.
Huh? Oh, wait a minute, Jane. How did...
Right here, driver. Wait for us, driver.
Hey, what is this? Where are we?
Come on, Peter.
Now, look, Jane, I don't mind wearing a beret for you. I don't even mind meeting Wilmur and getting a client I don't want. But why the alleyway?
Don't
What
you see, Peter? This is that laboratory of Mr. Randolph.
That's just dandy. So what?
Remember, Wilmur said he had the laboratory on 39th Street. This is it.
And what has this to do with Yvonne?
She's hiding here.
Huh?
Yvonne Randolph is hiding here. I just know it.
Oh, Jane, for God's sakes.
Oh, good. The door's not locked.
Jane, will you please tell me what makes you think Yvonne Randolph might be hiding here?
Where else could she hide, Peter? Don't want to let anyone know we're here.
Jane, where are you?
Right here, Peter.
Oh, I can't see a blasted thing.
Can you find a light switch or something?
No, I can't even find myself. For heaven's sake, Jane. We don't wind up in jail for housebreaking or something before this day's up.
Did you hear something?
No, not a thing.
Have you a match?
Yeah, just a minute. Oh, there.
There's a light switch, Peter.
Oh, good.
I'll turn the lights on and...
Jane,
Oh,
what is it?
It's Andre Deja.
Oh, and full of bullet holes. He's dead enough to pass coroner's inspection.
Oh, Peter, it's so horrible.
You had a good hunch, darling, but it looks like we found the wrong person.
For Andre.
Huh? Guess there's nothing to do but phone homicide and let them know about this. Maybe there's a telephone in the other room.
Peter, what is it? Have you found Yvonne?
Yes.
Oh,
He found Yvonne.
you killed Peter. Oh.
No, little one. He is not dead yet.
What do you mean?
It is not quite obvious. A life for a life. That saying is known in every country.
But Peter didn't kill anyone.
What about my Andre? What about him? He is dead, and you and this man killed him.
No, you're wrong. We found him dead. We didn't kill Andre. Really, we didn't.
I loved Andre, and now he is dead. Nothing else
Don't
matters.
shoot, please. We came here to help you. We really did.
Help me? Why?
Peter's your lawyer.
My lawyer? What could a lawyer do for me? I'm wanted for murder. The police are looking for me even now. I never loved my husband, but I did not kill him.
You and Andre tried to swindle him?
Yes.
Who killed him? Oh, Wilmur.
Please drop your gun, Yvonne.
You?
Yes, it's me. Drop your gun,
Be
Yvonne.
careful, Wilmur.
You murderer, you.
Wilmur, a murderer?
Yes, he killed my husband.
I had to, Miss Sherlock. He was in the way.
Oh, Wilmur.
And now I'm going to have to kill you two. Oh, and Mr. Blossom. Too bad. He was so nice.
But why?
I went to all the trouble of killing Mr. Randolph, and then this Andre Pettijohn came along. I might have known...
Known what?
I could never love anyone but Andre.
I made the mistake of loving you, Yvonne. And now I'm going to
You killed my Andre.
But, Yvonne, I had to.
You beast!
Oh, Yvonne, don't cry. I'm awfully sorry. See, I'll kill you now, and then you won't feel badly anymore.
Don't do that! Hey, one more fix it. Not bad, Jane. I learned that in law school.
Peter, I didn't know you were so muscular.
You are wonderful, monsieur.
Oh, you. Look what you did to my head.
I am very sorry. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right. It was nothing. It was... Oh,
my goodness. Peter's fainted. Feel better, darling?
Oh, I think so.
Well, it's lucky you came, too. Wilmur was going to start shooting everyone.
Oh, all right, Peter. Jane, you've scooped me again. Mrs. Randolph's in the clear, and we're booking Wilmur for both murders.
Chief, I don't quite know how all this happened. We were looking for Mrs. Randolph, and then...
Tollison, will you please stick to nothing but holding them once we get them? Let me handle the catching.
Okay, Chief, but I...
Tollison.
Right, Chief.
We were pretty good, huh, Dingle?
You were great. How did you get mixed up with those two, anyway?
You see, Jane and I were going to have lunch together at Pierre's. It's a French restaurant.
Of course.
Only I had to do some errands, and I was late because of Wilmur. I was buying him an engagement
Because
ring.
of Wilmur.
Mm-hmm.
Jane, how did you meet Wilmur?
It was him I was doing the errands for. And then I hired Peter to be Mrs. Randolph's lawyer.
Chief,
Tollison, please. Go on, Jane.
And I phoned Beth Ellis, and she told me she couldn't make luncheon after all.
Chief, tell me frankly, are you with Miss Sherlock?
Always. Go on, Jane.
So I telephoned Peter, and Captain Dingle, are you sure you're with me?
Jane, I've gone through this so many times. It always comes out sooner or later.
Well, Peter and I called on Wilmur at his office, and Wilmur told us about the laboratory. And then I remembered what Wilmur wanted inscribed on his engagement ring.
Go on.
And I told Peter I had a headache.
Go on, Jane.
And then we found Yvonne.
Oh, that does it. Please now, Jane, please, will you try to make some sense? Please, just this once.
Yvonne thought we'd killed Andre, but we didn't. Wilmur killed him. Right after we saw Andre this morning at the manhole, and
Jane, just a minute. How did we actually get tangled up in all this?
A $64 question.
Don't you see?
See what?
Yeah, Miss Sherlock, I don't think...
You never did.
Right, Chief.
Well, Dingy,
And don't call me Dingy.
I thought I told you. The ring was going to be inscribed from W to Y.
So what, Jane?
Well, Wilmur wanted to marry Yvonne. He ordered an engagement ring for her yesterday before Mrs. Randolph was a widow.
Oh, Jane, it's so good to sit down.
Does your head still hurt, Peter?
Not when you rub it that way, Jane.
I feel kind of sorry for Wilmur.
You have the oddest sense of sympathy, Jane.
He killed everybody to marry Yvonne, and then...
And it didn't work.
Peter!
Yes, darling?
Come on, we've got to get started.
Get started? For where, Jane?
Pierre's. We're meeting Beth Ellis for a midnight dinner.
Oh, no, Jane, not
we
that.
are, Peter. She's expecting us.
Oh.
And, Peter...
Yes, Jane.
Wear your beret. Beth will love it, please.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, it's that way all the time with Jane and Peter, especially Peter. How would you like to wear a beret? Well, next week, Jane doesn't make Peter wear a beret, but they do get involved with a big game hunter who says he's being hunted, in the case of the pink elephant. So be with us next week at this same time when you meet Miss Sherlock. Meet Miss Sherlock, produced by Dave Vale, written by Don Thompson and E. Jack Newman, with original music composed and played by Milton Charles, is presented from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Murray Wagner speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.